Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Saturday Spotlight, where today we're going to be going over one of my all-time favorite guns that I own. So if you've watched our channel for any amount of time, you'll know that we're mostly about ARs, suppressors, short barrel rifles, pistols, pistol caliber carbines, everything like that, you know, the cool tactical stuff. But when I look at all of the guns that I own, this is one of my absolute favorites, if not my favorite. This is my 1987 Remington 1100. So I've always had a soft spot in my heart for old quality Remington shotguns. So if you know anything about Remington, you know back in the day they used to make the Wingmaster, the 1100, just a ton of different stuff that they make as compared to current times. But the stuff back then was a lot higher quality. So you know Remington went out of business sometime in the mid 2000s or somewhere in between there. Then they were purchased by Freedom Group and they started making shotguns again, Remington 700 bolt action rifles and all kind of guns in the classic Remington SKUs and all. The new guns don't compare to the old ones like this 1100 right here. They make some type of new 1187 or something. I forget the name. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. But it doesn't look anything like this thing does. So like I said, this thing is made in 1987. Which puts it 10 years older than I am personally. And this thing is in excellent shape. So there's a pawn shop that is really close to where I work. And I go in there, try to go in once a week and just see what they have, anything new, stuff like that. And I saw this as soon as I walked through the door because I always look for their shotgun at their shotgun rack first because like I said, I like old shotguns, Wingmasters, old police 870 type shotguns. And if I see a good deal, I always pick them up. But so I spotted this thing immediately and I told him I'd take it as soon as I put my hands on it because this thing was just in excellent shape. So this is Remington 1100, 2 3/4 inch chamber. So you cannot shoot 3-inch shells, but for 90% of the hunting and shooting that I do, I run 2 3/4 inch shells anyway, so that's no problem. But this one, it's not the sportsman model, it's more of their like mid-tier where it's got a little bit of engraving and you know nice bluing, nice laminated Woodstock. The stock on this thing is just absolutely beautiful and hardly any scuffs or nicks or dings or anything like that. So this thing was kept in excellent shape. And you know I love going in pawn shops to find used guns, like nice used guns, and I wonder how did this thing end up in a pawn shop? Like, this is a nice shotgun. Did somebody inherit it and then, you know, they don't care about guns, they don't like guns, they just wanted the money and they went and sold it to a pawn shop or whatnot? Because this thing is 37 years old, which is pretty crazy to even think about. This thing's almost 40 years old and it's in excellent condition. So, you know, I always wonder, how do guns end up in pawn shops like this great of condition? But I'm glad it did, and I'm thankful I was able to pick it up. So I would like to know the story about it, but I'm not going to complain because I'm super excited to own this thing, and I will own it for the rest of my life and hopefully pass it down for many more generations to come. But like I mentioned earlier, this is one of, if not my most favorite gun that I own. And you know, I have suppressed BCM, AR, short barrel rifles, all the cool, fun stuff to shoot. But having something this old and then this great of shape is it's kind of like a privilege to own, in my opinion. One of my most favorite things to do, like in the shooting realm, is to dove hunt, which is what I'm out here doing today. And this is my preferred dove shotgun, a semi-automatic Remington 1100. I just love the way that this thing feels in the hand, just the grip angle, the curvature. It's the same ergonomics as a Remington 870, but you would just no pump action feature. So, you know, I have Remington 870s, Wingmasters, just smooth actions, and you can almost shoot a pump faster than you can shoot this semi-auto if you just really are running that pump action really quick. But there's just something about not having to focus on anything but that front sight and then, you know, just your trigger pull. So I really like this setup for dove hunting, and hopefully while we're out here talking about this thing, we can get a few as the day goes on. It almost hurts me to say it, but when I first picked up this shotgun, my initial intentions were to send it to Cotton Branch Customs. And if you don't know who Cotton Branch Customs are, they make some of the best looking short barrel shotguns I've ever seen. They do anything from Browning A5s, Remington 1100s, 870s, even Benelli M4s. They cut them off. They even cut down some of the stock and they put a new butt pad on. They recut the inside of the barrel for different chokes and whatnot. And they can even put a QD sling swivel in the side of the stock right here, which is pretty crazy. So my initial thoughts when I picked up this shotgun were to send it off to have it cut down and SBS it just for like a beautiful like short barrel shotgun, home defense, fun to shoot, stuff like that. But I decided not to when I saw how good of a shape this thing was in. And I'm glad I chose not to, because this thing is in too good of a condition to cut off and, you know, kind of ruin its original setup. Now, if I come across one in the future that is in worse shape, rusted barrel, you know, dings, nicks, scratches, stuff like that. So today we're out here trying to shoot a few doves. We are on a field that had brown top millet planted, and it's planted for my goats that you see in the background back here. And as they come through and eat all of this millet, you know, they knock some seeds off, they'll leave some seed heads, and the doves, they just swarm in here and eat all of the stuff that has hit the ground and that the goats won't or can't eat. So we've been planting this for about 3 years now, and it seems like the doves have figured out that this is always a pretty good spot to come. So, you know, there'll be some days 6 or 7 doves, some days 10, 15 doves. But for just me down here by myself, that's plenty. You know, it's not like a big farmed field that has hundreds of doves coming into it, which would be nice. But like I said, for me, just out here by myself, if I shoot 3 or 4 a day, I'm content with that. So out here in the middle, where the doves have been landing a lot, like the most concentrated area, I mowed a strip through here where all this millet and these cowpeas were, so that the doves can land and not be in the thickest part. And I've got 2 Mojo dove decoys out there, just so any doves that are flying in, they'll think that there's some more there and land there with them. And it's about 20-25 yards from where I'm sitting. I'm sitting under this scraggly oak tree that's lost about half of its leaves, and it's providing just the perfect amount of shade so that I don't have a heat stroke. But all's pretty good. Hadn't seen anything yet, but it's still a little bit early. Every time I've sat down here, I've got a few. So it's been about an hour. I've only seen a few flying off in the distance. We haven't had any come in yet, but it's getting to be about prime time for them to start moving around. And also our spot where we're at right here, there's a lot of peanut fields surrounding us. And even if we don't have any birds coming in, landing directly on us right here, there's a lot of birds that travel, you know, to and from fields, going back and forth all directions around us. So I have to keep looking up to maybe catch a few in transit, but those that are going to be coming by are going to be moving pretty quick, so we got to make our shot. So hadn't seen anything yet, but we will report back if and when something happens. All right, well, we're on our board with our first bird. 2 came in earlier, and I took a couple of shots. They were right at almost at the threshold of being too far away, but I took a few shots at them earlier, and then a couple just came in. I got one of them, and with my shots, several took off from around the trees, like surrounding this field. So hopefully it's about to start picking up a little bit. So far, so good. This one came in, absolutely crushed him, probably about 10-15 yards, but going good. Shotgun's running good as expected, so we'll keep you updated. Right as it's starting to pick up now, all these dragonflies, like hundreds of them, have moved in over the top of this field, and I guess they're eating all the bugs, mosquitoes and whatnot. But every time I look out of the corner of my eyes, I see movement, and my heart like skips a beat, like I've got to get ready for my shot. Probably end up shooting a dragonfly here in a second, just out of pure reflex, but getting pretty lively. So this is why I love dove hunting so much, is that, you know, I like to deer hunt pretty decent, but you sit there for hours and hours, and you get one shot. But when you're out here dove hunting and there's a lot of birds coming into the field, you know, you're shooting a lot, you're always, you know, scanning. It's never really a dull moment. So that's why I like to dove hunt, and that's why this is my favorite gun, just because of all the fun memories out here just shooting doves. So all right, we'll let you know when something happens. Well, we ended with just one today. A few more came in. They were just out of range. I took a few shots anyway, but didn't hit. But all in all, a good day. You know, always good getting out here, sitting outside. You know, wish it had been better, but hey, we'll try it again before the season ends. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna add in some more B-roll of us shooting this thing, shooting some skeet, some clay targets, so you can see it in action. I didn't have my cameraman here with me today. I was going solo, so not a whole lot of action shots for you guys, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you hadn't checked out our other Saturday Spotlight videos, go back. We have a playlist. Check them all out, see what you think, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So when we were out in the field the other day, I was unable to film myself getting any actual shots off. So today we're out here at the range. We're gonna shoot a little bit of skeet. I've recruited my cameraman. He's gonna throw some clay targets for me. So let's see what we do. All right, ready?